So let's start from your own personal pairs. You said NZD JPY and then USD CHF. So let's start from NZD JPY. So we are going to so this is NZD JPY, and we want to break it down because you know, in the community we break down directional biases with the Falcon strategy, okay, and we execute with the other one. So this is NZD JPY. The first thing you do is you look at the face of the market. Don't forget about that. That is the first thing you should always respect. The face of the market. What face is the market? If you look at the face of the market, then from there you know what you're going to do and what you should be expecting. So if we zoom out a little bit like this, or if we decide to zoom in, it depends on your own preference. If you decide to zoom in or you decide to look further backwards to price, it depends on your own preference, because whether you zoom in or you zoom out, you still get faces of the market. If I zoom out like this, we have this to be the impulse and this whole movement as a corrective face. If I zoom in like this, we have this little bit of impulse there. We have this running channel to the upside. Running channels consist of impulses like this that are a corrective of swing points that are in the same direction of the initial impulse. So, but for this video, I want us to look at the bigger frame because we are looking at directional bias. If you look at the bigger frame, so this is our impulse, and then this is our correction. On the corrective phase, where is the current impulse? For this time frame, we have the current impulse the market is reacting with is this guy, right? The market is reacting with this guy. So this is the current impulse the market is reacting with. I hope you all can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. So this is the current, what's it called? The current swing point the market is reacting with. So this is going to be our highest high. Though the current reaction of the market is already interacting with it, it's sweeping, and the market is still currently on it. When we break down the lower time frame, we will know if we are to adjust our highest high to somewhere current, or we have to keep it there and wait. And this is one of the reasons why, because I don't like my tools to interact with my candles, is one of the reasons why I like to use the dotted line, the trend line horizontally sometimes. To use a trend line horizontally like this, or is that vertical? So I don't know this. So that's how I like to use the trend line like this, so that whatever happens, I know that I'm sure of the fact that I don't interact the tools with my trend line. Okay. So the lowest point obviously is this one. This is obviously the lowest point. Now we have gotten our highest point and then our lowest level. Okay. So if we go to the lower time frame, we will get to see if we can then use somewhere here as the highest point. But for here, the market is too current to this level, so we can't use it at our highest point. So the next time frame to go to is the 4 hour. So when we go on the 4 hour, the next thing we do is to focus on the current side of the market and look if we can find price structures that can give us the directional information of what the market will do next. So this is the 4 hour. This is the 4 hour. Come on. So from the highest point and from the lowest point to the highest point, if you can see a price pattern or price channel, this can happen. It's either the price move you are seeing is a price channel or it's a price pattern. Mostly when you see the market is yet to give us a corrective phase like this, then we are going to be having a price channel. But when it has given a good corrective phase, like let's say around this level, I won't mark all of this thing. I'll only be concerned with the current price pattern. But the market is actually a little bit in the correct phase, because this swing point, a little bit of impulse still, because this corrective phase is yet to be completed. All right, so we cannot really call it a corrective phase yet. So for me, I'm going to have this price channel as my current structure on the 4 hour. This is going to be my current structure of the 4 hour on NZD JPY. So this is my current structure. And then from our price structure movement, we know that whenever we see this kind of movement, we will anticipate the third chart, then we can look for sellers. Okay. And the fact that this current zone of the market, or the current price action, is interacting with the previous swing high, it might also decide to give us a sell momentum from here, because it is kind of like it came to take just liquidity of the equals from those who trade double tops and double bottom. Okay, so the focus on this, I think there's no need of a lot of reason for us to go too much. So we're going to be stopping our analysis on the 1 hour time frames, because we're looking at direction. We're not looking to trigger entries. So we're looking at direction. So we'll be stopping our analysis on the 1 hour time frame. So this is the 4 hour structure we have. And then from the 4 hour structure, we have this to be our focus. We have this to be our focus. Now we have this impulse, and then the market is trying to give us a little bit of correction. So, and then we are having a corrective phase. So the market can give us something to create a good pattern to help us reach our third touch, or the market can just decide. The market can just decide to give us a drop from here, give us a drop from here to our third touch of the supportive ends. Either ways, because we know that what we had from this place is a running channel from with the daily, I spoke about it, the day time frame I spoke about it, is a running channel because the swing points are in the direction of the impulse. So it is a running channel, meaning reversal is what? A reversal is more likely to happen. So this is the structure on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour to see further. I'm trying to explain as well. I'm trying to do the breakdown as well, teach a little of the strategy and all. So this is the 1 hour. And then on the 1 hour, your focal point is now supposed to be on the current swing points and then the current pattern you can see. Now on the 1 hour, we can find this as a low on the 1 hour. This is an important level or value area, to call it. This is the value area on the 1 hour. And then from this value area, you see that the market trades back to this value area, or it gives us a continuation to actually hit our third touch on the 4 hour structure we have. So this is also another value area. And we see from here the market. Please, if you join us, mute your mic. All right. Don't give us noise, please. If you join us and your environment is noisy, please turn off your mic. So we have this as the value area, and then this as a value area. We have interacted with this place, and it gave us a little sweep, meaning a sell, meaning the market should drop further because we know after sweeps, the market should sell. It took equal liquidity. It took liquidity at equals. If you are coming and then you notice your environment is noisy, please mute your microphone, all right? So this is what the structure looks like right now on the 1 hour. And then from what we have, we cannot plot a trend line like this. What we are having right now, we can't plot a trend line. But if we look at the last two swing points, we might be looking to like the last two supportive swing points. We can have this kind of structure because this is a bullish run. This one is an impulse to the upside. And we had a little bit of rest, and then we went there, came back, and went back up, meaning we can have 230s already at the supportive ends, 1, 2. We can have 230s here, and then we can also have 230s at the resistive ends, 1, 2. So if we have something expanding like this, there's still tendency of us hitting the third touch. So for now, if I'm to advise you on what to do on this market, you have to chill a little bit to see what the market will do. Unless you are trading support and resistance and then you are looking to sell or whatever. But for now, we need the market to always be in an important level before we interact with it. If the market is not an important level, then you can never, or you cannot, it will be difficult for you to find a good stop level. All right. So this is what we have for NZD JPY. You have to let the market play around a little so that it can vividly or give us a correct structure here before we know what to do. The next on our list is USD CHF. USD CHF. So this is USD CHF. Please, all of this, all the instrument I'm analyzing, all the pairs, please as well look at them on your chart and post your analysis in the Discord in case you have something contrary to what we have over there, what we are having right now. Okay. In case you have something contrary to what we are having right now, please put your analysis in the Discord IDS group, okay? So this is the daily, and like I said earlier, when you come, what you look for is what? Current structure. What is the structure we're having? The structure will tell you what we should be looking for, or what we should be looking at. The structure is what we should know. So the structure is either impulsive phase or corrective phase, all right? So if we look at zoomed out like this, if you look at this, this is an impulsive phase, and after that we are having this. This is a run channel from downside, just like we have an opposite of what we had in the previous pair. So this one impulse is downside, and then corrective phase is downside as well. The other one we have our impulse upward, and then the corrective phase upward. So where's our lowest low going to be is the last swing point before the coin market, okay, that the market is yet to interact with. So this is going to be our lowest low. I'm focusing on this price structure, this one. Then the highest level is going to be on the 90% rule in case we have a breakout of the structure we have seen on the higher time frame. So if we have a breakout, this is going to be my highest point, because if it breaks out, it gives us a bullish move, then we should be looking to come to 90%. But the lower time frames, the more you go there, you get to get the current moves that will happen before our overall movement. Okay. So from this, we can now go to our lower time frame. Then we can look for reasons to support our higher time frame, or look for reasons to understand what price is likely to do better. So we go to the 4-hour from here. Remember that the section of the market you look at to put your highest point and lowest point depends on you. It depends on how far you want to put it, or which of the structure you want to look at. Because even if I zoom out the whole chart and compress it, the whole chart makes a particular structure. Okay, so it makes a particular pattern. So this is the lowest point we had, and then we had our highest point there. On the 4-hour, we have an important level from where the market last reversed to be this level. This is an important level here, or value area. So from this value area and this lowest level we have, we should now start looking for what the market should do next. Clearly, because we rejected this value area, we're looking for the market to interact with this low. And then probability of those people looking to trade the M's and W's is here. So this is a last run to the downside. We are halfway.
It's 6 o'clock.
Thank you, Samantha. We have halfway push up to the middle, and then now the market is looking again to come back to the previous swing point. Then either it sweeps it or breaks below. Then we can know what to do further. Okay. So on the current side, we should look for price pattern, because now we have read our directional biases from price action, from M's and W's. We have read our directional bias that we need to come down. Okay. So now what we have to look for is price pattern that will help support our motive or support our view of the market. You can decide to plot the whole of the running channel structure. You can decide to plot only the price pattern. It depends on you. But for me, I don't want to put it confusing to myself. So I'm going to plot the whole of this. We have 1, 2, and then we have 1 and 2. So we can see currently that from the 4-hour, we are rejecting the second touch of our trend line, right? We are currently rejecting the second touch of our trend line, and then the minute the little swing point that is here, the market is also just swept it. The market has also just swept it. So selling is a law of probability. There's a lot of probability for USD CHF to sell downward. This is only technicals. You have to know that the market can do anything, all right? So let's go to the 1 hour, which is our last directional bias time frame before we hop on another thing. So from the 1 hour, if you can get a pattern, you plot it for more confirmations. If you can't get a pattern, you hold on to your higher time frame structure and then you wait. Please, if you come and your mic is disturbing, please make sure you mute yourself, all right? So we had a sweep here, sweeping this high. So coming down is high probability. And from what the market is having right now, after rejecting the trend line, it has not given us a proper structure yet. So the focus for this, my focus for this is like this. Now we have, oh boy, this is my line check, like I know do fine art for school. So we have the drop down like this. So this, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to draw a proper line. So we have this drop down, okay? So now the market has pushed back. So the focal is something the market should create a particular price structure here. Then we can look to join it to the downside, which is going to be like this, giving us a flag so that we can join to the downside. Why? Because we rejected the trend line. We swept a previous sweep, a previous swing. So the sell momentum and the sell confirmations is hard in USD JPY, and the target is this previous swing low we got from the daily. So this is what we have on USD CHF. If you have, please look at USD CHF and analyze it and post also in the Discord so that we can share ideas on that. Okay. Now let's look at another pair. We have 4 different pairs to look at. Forget about the crypto. Those are my investment watch list. So we're going to look at the rest of them now. We had 5. We are done with 2. Let's look at Euro USD. Let's look at Euro USD. Please don't forget to also look at these things, look at them in your own ways and put in the Discord for us to share the ideas, okay? So this is Euro USD and this is our daily bias, all right? Remember from last week, we had the daily bias, we had this sweep and we're looking for the sell. And those of you that trade the strategy, you can see the market has taken a lot of things, so the buy is not something new, I guess. So now we need to look at the current phase and then where we want to focus on. For this, I'm still going to carry this whole as my impulse and then where the market is as my correction, like we did the last week or the last 2 weeks. So this is the lowest low because of that, and then this is the highest high. So the market just left this high. Probability of coming here is high, and when we get to put our price structures, we will know for real if it is going to happen or likely to happen or not. So for this, sometimes if you like, you can plot your trend lines on the time frame. If you don't see, you can go further to the lower time frame. But for this, I have a nice price structure here. 1, 2, and then 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. So we just rejected the second touch, and that's why price has been bullish. And also we took the liquidity here. I'm sure you guys remember. That's why price has been bullish on Euro USD. So let's go to the 4-hour. And then from what we have seen with our pattern, we know that we should be looking for more buys to interact with this swing point, because the price rejected the second touch of the trend line. To interact at least with this swing point, and then furthermore, if the price should continue buying or continue bullish, we should be looking at it to come to a third touch of our price pattern. Should be looking to come to third touch of our price pattern. So let's go to the 4-hour, then we'll get to know what the current structure is saying. Whenever you go to the time frame, the focal point is the current market. We have come lower, and from the daily time frame, we have read that we are looking at price to go further to the upside. We have come to the lower time, to the 4-hour time frame. So we have to look at supportive confluences to our previous lookouts, like our previous reasoning from the previous time frame. So those of you that remember the trading strategy, our trading system, you can see that we still need a little bit of push down to take some of liquidity here before we can go further to the upside. And this is actually can't be sorted into a price structure right now. It's looking very crazy and looking expansive or expanding. So something like this, if we are to plot the price pattern, and this as well. So this is the structure that I'm saying if you are to plot price pattern. But from price structures, we know there's a probability of coming down here. So when you have this, you have 50-50. All right. So let's go to the 1 hour to see if there are further confluences of the market taking off from where it is, there's a probability of it coming down. So from the same price structures, we see have probability of the market just to come up before we drop down, because we broke through this level. All right. So this is Euro USD. Our overall bias is that we should look for the market to come to this sweet point, because we had a rejection from a daily supportive trend line. So whether the market comes up and then do the structure thing first, or the market decides to come down and then do the price pattern or the price channel thing, you have to wait for confluences, but your mind should be at the bias of really looking to trade it to that level. And then if you have to look at price structures alone, price channels, we have this as well, 1, 2, but we're not going to look at that because we want to keep it to the current side. So that is it for Euro USD. Let's look at USD CAD, and finally we look at gold. USD CAD and USD CHF, I'm not sure there's supposed to be a lot of difference there. You can see there's not supposed to be a lot of difference, because CHF and CAD, not really too many difference in that value. So this is the higher time frame. This is the daily time frame for USD CHF, and as you can see, we are breaking lows and then we are looking bearish. All right, but we know after breaking lows, we need to come bullish a little before we drop continuously. So the price structure I'm going to focus on is this pattern. We have this impulse correction and that's impulse. So currently on the high time frame or on the daily time frame I'm looking at, we are having an impulsive phase. So this is an impulsive phase. When you have an impulsive phase like this, you need to look left to get yourself a current swing point the market is likely to approach. Then you use that as your important level. So if we look at this place, the market has already invalidated all of these guys. So the current one is this one. So this is going to be my lowest low. I can't put this place as my lowest low. Why? Because that is the current market right now. That is where the market is at the low right now. So I can't put it as my lowest low. It doesn't make a sense for a plan. All right. If you are planning, you plan ahead. You can't plan for today. No, we can only plan ahead. All right. So this is my lowest structure, and then the beginning of the impulse is my highest structure. All right. So this is what I have. When I go lower time frame, my focal point will be on this guy. All right, because the price has broken out of this little, out of this structure already. And our focal point is supposed to be on the current side so that we can know what the market will do next. So let's go to the 4-hour. Let's go to the 4-hour to see what price is likely to do next. So this is the 4-hour. And just like the same thing we had on the daily, please, if you're coming, mute yourself, all right? Don't ignore it. So just like what price had on the daily, right? It gave us an impulse, gave us a correction, and also impulse. If we look at reading price from this last touch, you can see we have an impulse. We had a running channel, we like corrective phase, and then we had another impulse again. So currently on the 4-hour, we are on a corrective phase on the 4-hour. So we have this as the impulse, and now we are having 1, 2 as the last swing points, and then 1, 2 as the last swing point. There's a little bit of reason for this guy to come up a little because of the liquidity here to drop before it drops. But this is what the market is presenting, and that is not the last candle. So putting the structure there is not a sin. So we're looking at the market to do what? From the 4-hour, come down, maybe give us another touch, come back for a third one before we finally drop down for this. We're looking at this to happen on the 4-hour. This is a forecast, all right? So let's go to the 1-hour to see if maybe the market will go for that liquidity, or it might just keep coming down, or already have a confluence for dropping from where it is. So we see a lot of reason that the market needs to still give us a little bit of battle to the upside before it comes down. This is just like preparing people to be liquidated, because the liquidity has not been taken yet, but it is dropping, and we are looking to sell. So that's why I told you guys that if you trade only trend line, you are going to be in a little bit of trouble, because you need to understand the swing so that you can be able to define liquidity. So for what we have on USD CAD, we need USD CAD to give us a little bit of push to the upside. Let's take out this resistive guy. We need this guy to give us a little bit of push to the upside. I don't know how it will go, correctively, impossibly, but we need this guy to give us a little bit of push to the upside before we can finally look for the sell. All right. So this is our focus on USD CHF. Sorry, USD CAD. People remember also on the USD CHF, we are looking to short. So let's look at gold. Let's look at gold. Please, if you have, please always analyze these things and put your analysis on the Discord, okay, so that we can also share the ideas and see if what I'm saying you're also seeing the same. Fahad, you're welcome. We're going to look at BTC for you. So this is daily time frame on gold, and like I always tell you guys, where you focus on depends on you. And just like USD CHF, the current market is the lowest price currently. So we have to look at what a relevant swing point at the left-hand side that we can target since the market is facing down. All right. Now we have two relevant places here. We have this as a relevant place. Then we have this guy as a liquidity zone because of this swing point. I'm sure you guys understand. So because of this, we have these two relevant. It's either the market can respect this guy and look at the bias, or the market breaks below and forget about it and come here. All right. So these are the important levels on the daily. Then let's look at the highest high. All right. The highest high, for the highest high, I'm going to use this place. Why? Because we have this impulse, this is a correction. Now we are impossible. So I'm going to use the highest point of the correction as the highest high. If you want, you can use it there. It's your business. So let's go to the 4-hour and we'll see what gold is doing and why gold is doing that. So this is the 4-hour, and based on pattern separation, I think currently we are having an impulsive place or a positive wave, and the market is looking to correct now. Because if we are to separate the price structures from each other, we have this, right? We have this structure on gold, where that came, give us take our liquidity, we drop, all right? This can be connected because this was just this was the one that went to take liquidity, so we just broke through it So we need the market to push up based on our, structured trading, push up before we give us a drop. So currently what we are having on gold is this particular round. We are yet to, on the 4 hour, we are yet to define the proper price patterns on the 4 hour. We are yet to define proper price pattern. So let's go to the 1 hour finally to see. So on the 1 hour, we have, on the current side, we have this 1, 2, 3. We're going to focus on the last two swings. So we have it like this, 1, 2, then we let this one run through. And then we have it like this, 1 and 2. So this is what we have in gold for now. This is what we have in gold. See that the market, now we have an impulse rejection from second touch of the 10 line. See that the market give us that flag and drop to our level, or it does what it wants. So this is the focus on the pairs that we have on our watch list: gold, USD CAD, NZD JPY, USD CHF, and EUR USD. So people, thanks for your time.